Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. Today we're going to show you how to replace the screen on the iPhone 15 Pro. This video also applies to the iPhone 14 Pro Max. We offer you a 10% discount with the code YouTube on all spare parts on our worldhightech.com website. Take advantage of worldwide delivery and our customer service is at your disposal by email and telephone. For this repair, allow around 20 minutes for an easy difficulty level. So today, we're going to repair the screen of this iPhone 15 Pro, bearing in mind that the repair also applies to the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The interior is designed in exactly the same way, so you can also watch this tutorial if you need to repair the screen of your 15 Pro Max. To repair this screen, we're going to need a new screen, of course. On our site, you can find a number of different types of screens: refurbished screens, compatible screens, and official screens. We have Apple screens, so don't hesitate to visit our site to see the different types of screens we offer. We'll also need an adhesive gasket to seal the phone and ensure complete protection. This prevents dust from getting into the phone and preserves its condition for as long as possible. A toolkit too. It's free if you buy the screen from Worldwilde. Inside you'll find a suction cup, metal and plastic picks, screwdrivers for the different types of screws found in the iPhone, and plastic spatulas. As I said, this kit is free if you buy the screen from us. Finally, we recommend that you take a heat gun, as this will soften the gasket holding the screen to the frame, making it much easier to remove. Beforehand, we make sure that the phone is switched off. We also stand on a clean, well-lit work surface. Using the small blue screwdriver, we remove the small screws at the bottom of the charging port. Take the heat gun and heat around the screen to soften the adhesive seal. Once we've heated up the edges of the screen, we'll take 2 picks and a suction cup. We're going to place the suction cup. I'm going to place it here because it's really broken. It's going to come apart on the first try. Put on the suction cup. Here, it's best to do it at the bottom anyway. But then I won't have too much grip. Take the pick or an open air pro like this one. It's exactly the same as the pick except with a handle, so it's easier to grip. You slide the pick between the screen and the chassis like this. Then we take the ring and pull on it just long enough to insert our plastic pick this time. If you feel that it's resisting too much, which is quite likely, you can remove the suction cup. Back to the game. We take the heat gun and heat it up a little to make sure the joint comes off as easily as possible. We're very careful because there are bits of glass and we don't want to cut ourselves. We're really gentle. Don't hesitate to give it a little tug every time you see bits of glass popping out, so as not to damage the phone. Here we're careful when we get here because there are ribbons on this side, so we can't damage them so we don't go too far. no further than the notch here. And that's it. Next, we rotate our iPhone to the left. Watch out for any bits of glass that may have slipped onto the table and inside the iPhone. We're going to use a tri-wing screwdriver, the white one, and a cruciform one, the red one. You can also find the professional version on our site if you need it. If you're a frequent repairer, the tri-wing will remove all those little screws that hold the metal plate in place. Pay attention to the order of the screws because they're not all the same length. So you don't put them in the wrong place when reassembling. That's all there is to it. Then don't forget that there's another screw right here. So be careful and unscrew it. That's it. We put our screen back on like this, and then with a little spatula we remove the metal plate. Using our little plastic spatula, we're going to disconnect the ribbons that hold the screen in place. So there's this one and this one. We'll keep the phone aside. We're going to take our old screen, and here we're going to remove this part. In fact, this is what makes Face ID work. It's a proximity and luminosity sensor. You absolutely have to get it back because on the new screen there isn't one. However, if you buy a screen that already has the part, we recommend that you get the old one anyway. Otherwise, your phone or motherboard won't detect the part or will give you an error message. To avoid this, you need to recover this part, otherwise your Face ID won't work. Let's take the Phillips screwdriver. It's the red screwdriver for me, it's the blue one, and we're going to remove the two little screws that hold the little plate in place. Of course, we keep all this aside. That's it, we keep the plate and its two screws. Now we take the scraper and heat it slightly to loosen it. We take our little plastic pick and gently peel off the flecks. We'll try not to bend it. Thanks to the stripper, it helped loosen the adhesive holding it in place. We've come to remove the adhesive. You can see that it's quite loose. You can use your fingers, but very gently, so as not to tear the flecks. We're very careful here. If you have small pliers, you can use pliers here or the spatula. And there we go, gently peeling off. That's it, we've got our part. Now we can recycle our old broken screen. We check one last time that there are no bits of glass lying around so as not to damage the phone and the new screen. We take the new screen and immediately replace the flex in the same place. We start with the sensor. Put it back in the little slot. Take the spatula. Press firmly to make sure it's in place. And then you follow. As you can see, the flex will right itself. You press lightly with your finger and you can warm it up a little so that the adhesive softens and sticks flat again. Just press, don't force. We take our little metal plate in this direction. I don't know if you can see it, but you've got the two notches going slightly downwards and the gold punch more up than down. There, if that helps. Let's put it back in place. We'll take the cruciform for you. In the toolkit, it's the red screwdriver, this one, and we screw the little plate back on. There's no need to overdo it. When you feel it screwed in properly, stop. Now it won't move. Perfect. Now we can pick up our phone and get ready to put our screen back on. Before putting the screen back on, we're going to make a clean sweep. Make sure there are no more bits of glass lying around and remove the adhesive seal here. There may still be bits of glass, but that's normal. First, we'll take a quick swipe, the first little brush stroke. We all have a small brush at home. If not, you'll find some on our website. A little brush to remove any mini bits of glass that may be in the phone or other small bits of dirt, because we do have some dirt that can become embedded, especially around the output of the internal earpiece, you see? Next, we'll take the heat gun and prepare the flathead screwdriver like this to remove the adhesive gasket and put a new one in its place. Then, using the flathead screwdriver, we're going to scrape off the gasket like this. Here, it's still whole, but you may already have it in pieces, so be careful to remove everything so that there's no extra thickness when we put the other gasket back on. Once we've removed the gasket, we'll put the new one back on. It's not very complicated. You do it before you put the screen back on, since the ribbons will otherwise prevent you from fitting the gasket. Remove the first part like this. Then take the phone and place it on the frame. Go slowly. Normally it's self-locking. Make sure it's flush with the edge and that it doesn't stick out. Either you've got fingernails and you can press down with your fingernails like this. Otherwise, you take the little blue spatula and press like this so that the seal sits well and adheres to the edge of the frame. Always be careful around cameras. It's important because otherwise, when you remove the blue protection, the gasket may stay on the protection and come off the frame. Make sure that it's stuck all over. Once you're sure, you can remove it. There's another blue protective layer underneath, which is normal. That's to prevent sticking while we put the new screen back on. So here we go. We reconnect the first ribbon, then the second. This is the ribbon. You've already recognized it as the proximity and luminosity sensor that enables you to use Face ID. We take the metal plate in this direction. Carefully, we pass it behind the flex. Once that's in place, we take our tri-wing screwdriver. For you, it's blue like this, and we put the screws back in the order in which we removed them. Remember, it's important to put the screws back in the right order. Once you've screwed everything back in, it's all in place. Using a pair of pliers, we're going to remove the adhesive, or at least the protection of the adhesive seal. We're going very slowly. Careful, it's sticky. Then we put the screen back on from below. Push it up like this. And finally, we put back our two little screws on either side of the charging port. Take this screwdriver and screw them back in. And finally, you can remove the protective cover. And that's it, your iPhone is repaired.